Welcome back to Wookies on X-Wing. I'm Jon.
And I'm Matt.
And today we have Game 2 of Round 4 for the Atlantic Canada Regionals for 2016, hosted at MetaGameZ and run by yours truly. How are you doing today, Matt?
Oh, pretty good. So we've got actually a Scum versus Scum game today. We've got Terry Mahar running a Dengaroo list. He's got Manaroo with Push the Limit, Recon Specialist, R5P8 Droid, a feedback array, and an engine upgrade to keep her out of danger. And then buddying up with her is Dengar with Lone Wolf title or EPT, Plasma Torpedoes, Zuckuss, Overclocked R4, Glitterstims, Countermeasures, and the Punishing One title.
And you might be asking yourselves why you're seeing yet another Dengaroo list. Just a reminder that this is the top games of the Swiss. We're still in the Swiss, but we've decided to show the top games. And against Terry, we have Sean Greening, and Sean is flying a Scummy Swarm list, my kind of scum. He has two Z95 Binayre Pirates, a Syndicate Thug Y-Wing with the twin laser turret, and the Black Sun Ace, two of them both with Predator. And what's beautiful about the Black Sun Ace and with Predator is that Predator, unlike Lone Wolf, you get to use your rerolls on anything. When attacking, you may reroll one attack dice. If the defender's pilot skill is 2 or lower, you may instead roll 2 attack dice, up to 2.
Yeah, it's very nice upgrades. Let's see if the Swarm can overpower this the Dengar list that's really been taking the meta by storm for the last little while. It's a very potent list. Let's see if Sean can punch through it.
Now, I know you are a big fan of the Kiras, and I'm a big fan of the Kiras, but we haven't seen a lot of other players fly them. How do you think that they're going to be able to do standing up against the Dengar squadron?
Well, he's got the 2 defense dice, so he should handle Manaroo reasonably well there. Doesn't want to have Dengar take too many shots at them. He's got a pretty decent maneuver dial there. Got 2 K turns, some nice greens, but just the fact that it has 3 attack dice on both of them should put him to use.
On top of that, they do have that nice rerolls given to them by the EPT, allowing them to use that one action that they really want, focus. Now, it looks like Sean is setting up on the flank, and I think that is a bit of a mistake. And the reason for it, Dengar really wants to control the board, and by putting himself into a flank, he has Terry complete open to just put Manaroo wherever he wants. And there you go. Manaroo is in the opposite corner. That's going to make things very difficult for a swarm, especially with very big debris, very big rocks in the way.
There's a lot of big obstacle tokens here. But Sean may be able to put them to his use here. He's got the smaller ships. There are, barring the Y-Wing, somewhat more maneuverable within those asteroids. But it's really going to come down to, I guess, who Sean has picked for his target, and if he's able to overwhelm Dengar here. He's got the ships to do it. He has to be careful with the Black Sun Aces. They will be shooting before his other ships, and quite possibly taking the shots from Dengar here. But as long as he can keep his Y-Wing in the game, actually, that's what's probably going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for him.
Yeah, that Y-Wing does have that 3 attack dice off on the TLT given twice. Now, obviously, with the TLT, he's only going to be landing 1 damage point per exchange, but that's the beauty of it. You trade in the sheer chance of many, many hits for the consistency of just sheer damage.
Yeah.
Now, it looks like Sean is going to be going after Dengar in the middle of the asteroid field, debris field, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That looks like it's going to be very tricky for him because, as we know, Dengar's real strength is being able to get actions from Manaroo, not really caring about actions being performed himself. And if Sean's strategy relies on bumping Terry, then Terry is actually going to have the upper hand.
Yeah, we'll see if he may be able to limit Dengar's options. If he can force him onto a rock, that would be ideal. But just give him spots where he doesn't really want to maneuver. And Manaroo is very wisely opting to keep as far away from Sean's swarm as she can here. does not want to get too close.
Yeah, it even looks like she is further back than where she started before, which is really neat, given that barrel roll action that she has.
I like Sean. He's formation flying here. Wants to keep his squadron as consistent as possible, and for him that is definitely going to play to his advantage. He wants to be able to have the best possible chance of concentrating his fire into the same spot. Doesn't want to feed his ships piecemeal into Dengar here.
Not at all. I think that a real strength of Sean here, though, is using that Kiraz to maybe try to arc dodge a little bit, seeing if he can get into an angle that if he's firing into Dengar, he's not getting returning shots back from Dengar's really powerful pilot ability.
Yeah, and here we go. So we got now Sean is got himself positioned. He's turning the engines on for his ships, blasting forward. I wouldn't be surprised if his Syndicate Thug opts to kind of strafe sideways here. That Y-Wing does not want to be into the thick of it.
No.
Wouldn't be surprised if it was banked and kind of swung around the edge of the debris clouds there.
Well, the Syndicate Thug doesn't have basically the unhinged astromech, so he doesn't have the sheer beauty of having nothing but green threes. That being said, it's still a decent tactic, and as we see here, that bank, white maneuver, able to do some actions.
Yeah, put that debris cloud between himself and Dengar, and doesn't want to let it foul him up. Again, Manaroo keeping her distance. It looks like Sean has opted to... He's going right into the teeth of Dengar. Probably wants to try to kill him as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Manaroo is actioning up. We know where those actions are going.
Yeah, there is the Recon Specialist getting use out of Recon Specialist. Just being able to freely throw focus anywhere onto the board is a phenomenal ability.
And for those of you who are wondering what Matt's talking about, Manaroo's ability is at the start of the combat phase, you may assign all focus, evade, and target lock tokens assigned to you to another ship. Notice there is no stipulation about range. It's anywhere on the board, and that's the beauty of Manaroo. She can action up, give those actions to Dengar. Oh, she gets a target lock on her from an enemy ship, maybe Omega Leader. Bam, Dengar, you take that for me. I don't want it.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing in combination, and it's a really beautiful sight to see because they're meant to work together.
All right, and so we have Dengar banked up a bit here. Now, I would not be surprised if this is very likely going to be a torpedo turn. He's in a good spot to use it, and he's got so there is the target lock. He's got one of the Kirazes within torpedo range. And here we have, so we got Manaroo giving the focus out. Might as well get use out of that while you still can.
Oh, absolutely.
Now he doesn't have his his extra munitions upgrade here, but
yeah, this incarnation of Dengar does not have the like you said, additional missiles, but with a rule like that, you don't really need them.
No, and there we have, so got the focus used. 4 hits. This is going to be at least 2 damage taken onto that Kiraz. That Kiraz, and though he opted to Zuckuss, the focus still takes a hit, or gets the evade, and takes 2 points as well as a shield. No crit, thankfully enough. But that Kiraz goes from 5 health down to 2. A very nice opening salvo.
And that's not exactly what you want to see on your Kiraz, because they're your workhorse when it comes to this kind of squadron, and already one has been severely crippled. Now, its combat functionality hasn't been affected, but that's not to say that getting a shot off onto Dengar could mean bad things. Dengar's ability to shoot back means that he has to be very, very careful.
Yeah, and so there we had the Predator used only 1 potential hit, and Dengar only rolling 1 potential evade. Or 1 evade, but manages to take no damage from that. Now let's see if Sean opts to fire his wounded Kiraz, knowing that Dengar still has his pilot ability up his sleeve. It's definitely a risky proposition. Not something you want to take lightly. But it looks like he decides to go for it. Now.
It doesn't look like he's sure whether or not he wants to spend anything.
Oh, so he spends his focus to try to get some early damage out, and Dengar rolling what he needs, doesn't care. This isn't surprised. We have our shot back, 3 versus 3, and all right, Dengar just. Oh, so he did miss, but he uses his target lock that he acquired earlier. Oh, sorry, he had lost that. My apologies.
Yeah, he's just spending his lone wolf trigger. Gets 1 potential.
All right. Oh, it looks Sean perhaps preemptively dealt that damage card. He still has to roll his defense. Yep, there we go. So rolling the defense dice. And let's see if he can defend against this.
Yeah, it looks like Sean was just a little confused whether or not that was a droid. He does get a crit.
And it's a direct hit, and that kills the Kiraz. That's what I was worried about. But so that's a little unfortunate. Losing the Kiraz for no damage taken to Dengar. That was some very nice rolling on behalf of Terry, but still a little painful.
So here we have the TLT goes. Because it is a secondary weapon system, Dengar does not get to get his 3rd defense dice.
He does not. But still, got the Lone Wolf to re-roll. Got the 2 evades, using his Overclocked R4 to keep his... spending the focus to keep it. And Dengar takes 1 damage from a 3-hit TLT, so don't even need to roll the defense. Binayre Pirate's going out. Again, still successfully defending.
Yeah, he does. He has that lone wolf trigger. He's rolling those blanks. He doesn't need to use it because he's still rolling really well on the rest of his dice.
Yeah. And so let's see if Sean can close in Dengar here and get some nice range 1 shots.
He has to be very careful because knocking Dengar, it works only to the benefit of Terry.
All right, and here we go. So just trying to limit where Dengar can go. Let's see. I'm curious what that Kiraz is going to do. He's going to be he's still a fairly important part.
Yeah.
Still the punchiest hitter. But at least we've got some damage out from the Syndicate thug there.
So it looks like the Y-Wing is just moseying on. He knows that he's going to be in relative arc. Doesn't really care that much about his actions. Doing his K-turn.
Yep. Looks like wants to possibly get turned around to continue to chase Dengar on later turns if Dengar does not opt to turn up past him. Manaroo still being pretty lazy, keeping on the edge of the action here,
and using that engine upgrade that Manaroo has spent points on.
Yeah, she just does not want to commit into this fight. For very good reason. It's not anywhere she wants to be, unless she absolutely has to. There we push the limit for the Recon specialist. And let's see where his surviving Black Sun ace will end up.
So he's moseying on forward, actioning up, getting that focus. Obviously doesn't need the target lock with the Predator.
Sits nicely in there, and this is going to be a bump into the front of the Binayre Pirate.
And as I said before, this only really benefits Terry. Bumping into that Z95 means the Z95 has no shots, where Dengar really has a whole slew of targets that he gets to pick and choose from. And on top of that, provided he gets shot by any of those 2 ships in his forward firing arc, he can fire back into them with pretty much a heavy salvo. 3, maybe 4 attack dice, depending on which target he picks, and that can easily eliminate one of these fighters, depending on how hard he hits, or if he's focus firing.
Absolutely. And so here we have countermeasures being used. This is a good time to use it with possibly 2 ships at range 1, one of them being the Kiraz.
So countermeasures triggering means that he gets rid of that target lock and his agility goes up by 1.
Yeah.
Beautiful when you have double focus.
Oh, it is quite nice here.
The fact that that Dengar is just as agile as a TIE fighter now is ridiculous. Or
Well,
as agile as a robot.
Yeah. I mean, it helps when you got a whole bunch of chaff floating around. So there we go. Nicely rolling 3 hits, 1 focus, spending his focus token, and just no. Oh, so there's a Zuckuss into a blank. So that is. Oh, that was onto a Binayre Pirate and just completely fries him. 1-hit wonder. He's gone.
Terry knows that he wasn't able to kill a Kirash straight out, but if that Kirash fires back, he will get that free shot.
Exactly.
Gets to limit the number of shots that he has towards him and really take advantage of that.
And so here we have the Kiraz. He may be in range 1. It was very close when we had initially checked. Let's hope he is. 4 attack dice, even for Dengar, is that's nothing to snuff at. But let's see how he ends up. So, looks like a discussion between the players, some internal debates there.
They're trying to figure out if it's going to be range 1 or 2, and it looks like they're going to decide it over a dice roll, maybe?
Oh, he's just doing his attack. So it's range 2, and oh, it's some unfortunate. We have a Predator coming out. Now, this is almost not worth spending your focus, just saving it for the defense. It looks like he opts not to, so 1 versus 3. Dengar, not caring, gets his evade. And, yep, unsurprisingly firing back. And Lone Wolf being used, and yeah, so might as well spend your focus. Get to keep it with the Overclocked.
Yeah, he's not getting fired at by anything else, and yeah, exactly. He gets
And 2 blanks, even with that focus, end up not being used, taking a point.
It's one of those things that it's really difficult to see the future sometimes. Not everybody has that kind of foresight, and with the sheer power that Dengar brings to the table, the light side is very difficult to attain.
Yeah, and so here, and we have the Thug getting some damage out, getting the 2 points through. This one is a guaranteed point of damage, or not almost, not with countermeasures up. And let's see if he can pull it off with Lone Wolf. No, he cannot. So still gets it, pushes it through. Taking Dengar to 1 shield. All right, so that Y-Wing is still proving its worth.
Yeah, you said it, Matt. He is the workhorse of this force.
Getting our proxy out for Dengar. Got the Binayre. Looks like he is going to mosey on up.
Yeah, I think he's doing a K-turn.
Yep, that is a 3K turn there.
Landing on the debris, which is kind of unfortunate, but
double stress, but it does puts him in a decent spot. He will unfortunately be going back through the debris next turn.
Yeah.
So he is not actioning for a very long time. And let's see, does he take the crit? Gets a focus, so no damage from that cloud.
The thing that you have to be very careful of, especially when you're tailing a jump master, is that they have those S loops, and not just any kind of S loop. They have white S loops.
Exactly. Now Dengar is not in an ideal spot. Oh, he's not in a great spot for an S loop, but it still might not be a bad idea just to get his forward arc reoriented.
Yeah, I believe that if he does his white to the left S loop, he will be landing on a debris field of his own. However, they're not rocks, and he'll still get to fire. And when it comes to stress, Dengar really doesn't care all that much.
No. So there's Manaroo forming a nice hard turn, shedding her stress, barrel rolling over, and we should see that Recon specialist, coming back out with push the limit. It looks like Manaroo has decided, you know what? It's might be getting safe here to start lending my weight. She's got 2 ships down. Not a bad idea. And we've got the Black Sun Ace moving up. Nice idea. Looks like Sean may have a similar idea to us of where Dengar might be choosing to go. And
that's going to be a very close call whether he can land that. Thanks to the Black Sun Ace. If he can land that, that Black Sun Ace is in a terrible spot.
He's in a lot of trouble. And it looks like Dengar. Oh, it looks like he'll be good.
We won't know for sure until they reposition the Black Sun.
Let's see.
Does lose a shield for hitting the debris.
Yep. Makes Sean's job just a little easier here, and yet he is able to. Just able to land. A good idea by Sean. Didn't quite pay off. But. And unfortunately, his Syndicate Thug is now within range 1. And he may not have a primary fire arc.
And if he does he really want to take it?
Well, he can shoot into Dengar, and Dengar can't shoot him back, but. Let's see. So Dengar shooting into the Kiraz. Just. Terry being consistently unable to roll blanks on most of his attack dice here. And this should... Yeah, that completely fries... Unfortunately, completely fries the Kiraz. That is 4 hits. He'd already lost his shield before. And he is gone.
Yeah, Dengar is making short work of this opposing scum force.
And this, after playing the Kiraz, they are a very powerful ship, but this is their weakness. They're kind of expensive, and they are only 2 defense dice, without a whole lot of defensive options.
Yeah, they fall very much into the same pitfalls that the T-65 X-Wing does, except without all of the cool gadgets and possible upgrades.
Yeah, and so there is the Syndicate Thug taking... He was in primary firing arc, and Terry getting the Lone Wolf evade, narrowly avoiding a crit there. And it looks like Sean opted not to fire with his Binayre Pirate into Dengar. There's not really any sense giving him that free shot.
Exactly. Two attack dice going into 3 defense dice, maybe 4 depending on the range, and then on top of that him firing back, and you just know he's going to land some hits because, yeah, you got the same amount of defense dice, you don't got actions, and then Zuckuss can make you re-roll those successes, and that's just frustrating as hell.
You're just asking for to give free damage away.
Yeah, that Z95 is in a really bad spot. Both of the Z95s this game have not really been able to shine because really their main role as a blocker doesn't do much good against the power of Dengar.
No, exactly. When he has an action battery, as we know, Dengar doesn't care about performing actions himself. And Manaroo choosing, no, all right, guess I'm not going to close in.
He's got it handled.
Yeah. Dengar's got this.
I'm just here. I'm the carry.
Yeah. And so we'll see if we decide to push the limit or not. So there is a barrel roll. There will be a push for the focus.
Yeah, and it's just to stay far away from any kind of reprisal or disengage in order to try to go after Manaroo. This late in the game, it's probably not going to be any kind of effect unless both of Sean's fighters make a committed effort to go after her, and just because of that engine upgrade and then R5P8, doing so this late might be
it's still a scary proposition.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're also letting Dengar just free fly.
And we see the power of a white S-loop Dengar getting himself reoriented there. Looks like he's got his sights very firmly set onto the Binayre Pirate. So, however, Sean will be able to again put that TLT into play. He's got it back into the range band, and just the phenomenal dice rolls, they just can't stop.
Yeah, Terry has had amazing dice rolls so far this game, and he's been flying to match, so you know it's all gravy when it comes to dealing with that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, and there is, again, just one-shotting a headhunter here. 2 evades down to 2 blanks.
Thanks to Zuckuss. 2 crits. We don't even care what they are because he's gone.
Yeah, they don't...
They don't cascade.
Nope.
And now we have Dengar going up against the lone TLT-wielding Syndicate Thug. Now, this Syndicate Thug has been doing enough damage. If Sean plays as well, he might be able to deal with Dengar staying out of that front arc and just completely avoiding being that reciprocal shot.
Exactly. And we saw the 3 potential hits. There's no way, literally no way for Dengar to avoid that. Again, 3 potential hits. Dengar continuing to power through, or the TLT continuing to power through Dengar's only 2 evade dice.
Yeah.
And checking if Dengar has an arc for the return shot. Looks like he may be out. So yeah,
Yep,
that Y-wing is ended up being in a very nice spot. No return shots from Dengar, and putting Dengar at 3.
Yeah, and on top of that, look where that Y-wing is. He's on the right side of him. The best side to be on.
Yeah, that is not the direction that Dengar wants to turn. And so Manaroo, again, continuing her very lazy trip. But this Syndicate Thug, if depending on how he flies and how Dengar flies, he may be able to just push the damage through onto Dengar.
Yeah, if he flies fairly well, hugs those asteroids, but in a way that benefits him, he might be able to take Dengar completely out of the game. And that is a huge win, especially for somebody who is down this many points.
Again, that white S-loop, so we know Dengar's going to be able to shoot back this time. Let's see if the just massive health pool of the Y-wing can soak the brutal damage that the punishing one can put out. And Terry just continuing that trend with attack dice. 3 potentials. No evasion there.
And that's the frustrating thing, to know that even if you did roll evasions, you'd have to roll that again. The power of the dice modification from a 1-point crewman is phenomenal.
All right, and here we have 2 potentials. And we've got Lone Wolf. There's 1 so far. Oh, gets it, so no damage taken. And the TLT, that is a guaranteed point. No evading that.
That puts Dengar at 3 points of damage, 2 points away from death.
All right, and we have a return shot. Lone Wolf going out here. Didn't look like he got that, but spend a focus to change 2 of them into hits. There's going to be a Zuckuss on that one. And again, into the blank. So 2 damage out onto the Y-wing.
Now, the Y-wing has 3 hull points left. A really solid salvo from the Y-wing will be able to put Dengar in the dirt. But Dengar still has to roll fairly badly in order for him to not kill this Y-wing.
Exactly, yeah. And Dengar, he will be able to shoot first. Has the chance to. And with Zuckuss, that chance is actually a fairly reasonable one.
It's anybody's game when it comes to this fight. The long game, unfortunately, I believe, is Terry's, just due to exactly Manaroo doing what she's doing.
Exactly, and especially with Manaroo having R5P8, with a Y-wing being this low health, he really can't afford to kill Manaroo. He can't kill her quickly enough. But let's see. Hopefully he will be able to kill Dengar. That is still quite a lot of points of the list. Oh, so good use. The time to use it. There is Glitterstim's going out. Dengar is getting high as a kite.
Ah, yeah, that's the stuff.
He is in a very nice position. He's between the asteroid, so he'll be able to give... maybe between the asteroid. Let's see. If he is, that is three defense dice to possibly be modified.
Yeah. And unfortunately, as beautiful it is to hug this asteroid, doing so really benefits Terry more than it benefits the Y-wing. Unfortunately,
Yeah, at this point, you need to have both of your shots land. Otherwise, that Y-wing will very likely die to the reprisal shot. But here we are. So 3 attacks, Glitterstims, procking, changing that to 3 hits.
and a fairly decent defense roll.
So that will be keeping the blanks, Zuckussing the two potentials. Let's see, will the Y-wing survive? There is one. One ended up off. So it looks like the other one did not. Goes down to 1 health.
1 health Y-wing. It's still a Y-wing that can kill Dengar.
It is indeed. However, because he was rolling the 3 defense dice, it looks like the asteroid is impeding the shot.
Oh, very much so.
So we'll have the 3 defense dice. So let's see if he can power through this. And so spending the focus early.
For 2.
And that is going to be Glitterstimmed into an evade. Unfortunately, taking no damage from that.
The power of consumables.
And the TLT, only 1 potential. Not ideal. No damage from that turn. Dengar's return shot. Glitterstim's up, and Sean has to roll amazingly to survive this.
He has to roll amazingly twice.
Well, that... I see 2 of them. Oh, it looks like one of them was a blank or a focus, and they call it there. So, very quick, very
brutal,
decisive game. Almost managed to push through Dengar. Got to give props to Sean for that. Terry's attack rolls.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, I don't know if he took his dice to the Bahamas with him or something, but they love him, and his flying was fairly good as well. Terry was able to play a very strong game. Looked like Sean might have been in the motions at first, and that's a really terrible thing to be in when you're playing a squadron and it's going to be an uphill battle, as it is with Dengaroo. You played right into the middle of that asteroid field, didn't have a lot of room to maneuver, and didn't play into the strengths of your squadron.
No, and Terry really, he made the use of that very confined space there. Just a white S-loop, being able to turn in the direction he wanted to. Very well flown. Good job to both players. Exciting game to watch. I highly enjoyed it.
Very much so. I'm a really big fan of Terry's personal version of the Dengaroo list, but when it comes to that Sean squadron, the Swarm, I would really like to see it in a different battlefield going up against a different opponent, and maybe he got to the top table, so you know that there was a reason for that.
Definitely. Well, guys, as always, thanks for watching Wookies on X-Wing. Be sure to like and subscribe. We've got Wookies videos out every Wednesday.
We are part of the Northern Gaming Network. Be sure to check it out at northerngamingnetwork.com, where we have additional content for this game and others.
And as always, if you guys want to get a hold of us, leave us a message in the comments, or John will let you know how to get a hold of us directly.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Corhath, but you can also find us on Twitter at NorthGameNet. If you want to like us on Facebook, you can keep up with our most recent news that way.
And we'll see you guys next week.